Hi, friends. Good morning, good evening. Hope you are doing well. I am Kumkum from Bridge, and once again, I'm on the behalf of Bridge. I would like to welcome you all in live open session episode 16. And today, again, I have Mr. Saket Bansal with us, and Saket will help us to understand many things and the questions which are bothering you. So, without wasting any more time, let's jump on the discussion. So, Saket, first of all, I would like to thank you again. So, every weekend, every Friday, you are taking out time for this session and helping many professionals. So, thank you very much, Saket, for this thing. So, now, before starting the questions and answers, would you like to share something with us?
So one thing is that definitely we wait for the questions before we take more deep dived conversations. We do had one question talking about how do I get started after getting a theoretical knowledge about various concepts. This question we got on LinkedIn. I am not sure why it is not coming here to show you, but it was a question. And again, see, the in order to learn something we start from knowledge, which a training or a certification program can be a good thing to get started with. So one starts with training, acquire a knowledge, may read a book, may watch some set of videos. So that's a good starting point, but after that the second step has to be taken, and that's all about developing the skills. So if you feel that I have acquired enough knowledge but I'm not able to develop the skills which can help me in applying in a working life, and looking for opportunities, or maybe when you are applying or trying to do something and you are facing difficulties while you are applying those knowledges, then you need some amount of assistance and mentoring. Many of you who might be working in a setup where you might have formal mentors which are identified, or informal mentors which are identified inside your organization, and you might be getting those assistance and experimenting and moving it forward, which is the good thing or best thing to happen. But some of you might not be having those opportunities, where the organization, or because of various reasons, you may not have someone in your connection or in your close network who can mentor you, and you might look for external assistance. So we, as I spoke in the last session as well, we are developing a platform where one can publish their services as a mentor, at the same time can find mentors as well. So 𝐎𝐲𝐞𝐧 is a good thing. And recently one of the mentor has started doing a Scrum Master mentoring program, where the whole process is related to facilitating, simulating various Scrum ceremonies, events, creating a lot of things in the work management tool, creating a lot of matrices, and seeing how those things come up in a work management tool as well. So that gives you a good simulation for what is expected to happen on a day-to-day work basis. So that kind of a service or that kind of a mentoring program might help you when you are done with the certification and may not be getting an opportunity to apply that knowledge, and you may want to sharpen your skills so that you start getting that opportunity. So that's the thing which I can recommend here as a response to the question which we got in a LinkedIn. Now before we get more questions, I think what we can do here is, last time we were talking about the job analysis report, which we presented to many of you via the help of 𝐎𝐲𝐞𝐧. I think the URL is available in our YouTube channel as well. It's available in the LinkedIn pages as well. But yeah, I can give a little brief around that particular report, because some of you might be reading it, watching it, may not be getting it, what exactly the whole thing might mean. So I think I can take some time till the time we have more question coming in to talk about that particular report. Yeah, so that's something I can do. So for that, I am sharing my screen. Okay, and here it comes in. So again, this is the 𝐎𝐲𝐞𝐧 report, and again, the skills or the conversation which are shared here are based on observation. You should not take them as a truth, but they are good indicator of finding or an indicator of a trend, and you can use your own analysis on top of it. So it's a one view. I'm not claiming that this is the only view. It's a one view which can help you in finding out what is relevant for you in order to acquire more skills, more knowledge, so that you are ready for a profile. If you are targeting a Scrum Master profile, uh, then it's relevant for you. So again, based on various job posting. So we studied the job posting primarily done in the US market. Some of the examples of the companies which we have shared are also listed here. But the idea here is this report is based on what we see in the job market. Now, it's a difficult thing to do. You don't have a very consistent job descriptions. So someone might be saying we need a person who should be doing good daily Scrum. Someone might be saying the Scrum Master should be able to facilitate retrospective meeting, and one particular job might say that we need a good facilitation skill. So we need to do some kind of a compilation of data, and that's why there could be some interpretation biases. But yeah, we use, for example, the word event facilitation to talk about all the possible facilitation the job description might be talking about, whereas in real jobs things were coming in a different words. So why I'm sharing this story, so that you understand that you may not get a word to word match. So when you study a particular job description, and we have our own reasons in order to make the data compilable, we need to do that particular mapping. So facilitation, which is part of running all Scrum meetings effectively, was kind of a skill which was asked most of the time. I would say 100% of the time there was a mentioning of a facilitation. There are 30 skills. Not all skills were mentioned all the time. And even if some of the skills are mentioned all the times, may not necessarily an individual has to be an expert in all these skills. The real job fitment is based on what kind of skills are available in the market, what is your skill, what is the real requirement, and there is a little bit of variance, and finally you agree to work together. So don't take these skills as a mandatory skills, but these are the things which we have seen frequently. So like I take an example of event facilitator to show how the mapping has been done. And then there are similar things. For example, there are various tool mentioning. Someone mentioning that you should be able to use Jira well, someone might be mentioning just web matrices and all. So we compiled everything under work management tools. So sometimes you have a mentioning of a work management tool, sometimes it is just mentioned that you should be able to use tools in order to produce desired amount of matrices and data. So this is a kind of a superset skills which we saw. All jobs asked for skills in event facilitation, as I spoke about. Somehow I see most of the jobs which we have studied were calling out a relationship and engagement with product owner specifically. Earlier I mapped this particular skill under the stakeholder management skill alone, but when I saw it is specifically mentioned, then we brought in out and said, okay, working with the product owner seems to be a very critical thing. Metrics reporting. So now various kind of texts were used. Sometimes it was talking about you should be able to create an environment where work is transparently known to the people. Sometimes it is that the mentioning of a particular metrics were there in some cases, like burn down chart, velocity and all. In some cases it was more about creating a periodic report to create a transparency about what is happening. Now, we do understand in the agile world, the working software remains the primary measurement of the progress. But yeah, along with that, the jobs were asking for knowledge of various tools and matrices which can help you to see where you are heading. Impediment management, servant leadership, and helping the team in creating a high performance culture by way of coaching, training team seems to be the consistent thing which was asked around. So this is like the thing which we were looking at. So I take a pause here because it's a previous initial segment of it, and see if we have a questions before I continue with my further report. Yeah. So this is like the initial segment of our a report which we have observed. Yeah, so I see that as of now we don't have much questions, so I think I can continue with this, and probably we'll see if we have something coming up at a later stage. Okay, so if you have a question, anyone who is watching it have a question related to the report as well, they can also end up sharing their concern or comment is also good, which can help us. Okay, so
Just
taking yeah,
one
go
thing
ahead.
I would like to highlight here. Few people pinged me they were unable to download this report from 𝐎𝐩𝐞𝐧. Okay, so they have to join the OGIL platform and then they can download the report.
Yeah, yeah. So it's easy. You can join the platform in a few clicks if you have a Google account. Yeah, we as of now we only work with a Google account. You just need to log in using your Google account, and then you are a part of Guild and you can download. So that's the process of doing it. If you still face any problem, then do connect to us. After joining, you can comment on the OGuild page as well. So if you're facing any difficulty after joining, also you can directly comment on the same page. Yeah. Now, when we speak about the skills per category, so it's like you have this around 30 skills. So we think of segmenting these skills into some meaningful categories so that we can make some meaningful insights about it. So what I see here is, since the job is related to Scrum, many of the jobs were not very explicit about saying the person should know Scrum. That's assumed the person should know Scrum. The jobs were more focusing on you should be able to do facilitate Scrum events well. You should be able to work with the other Scrum roles well. So that's, you should be able to create a build-in quality well. So those kind of a detail were mentioned rather than just generically speaking about Scrum or any other tools about Agile. Good number of jobs were not even mentioning any Agile skill, because I personally assumed that was conceived, like perceived as a desired or essential skills. But yeah, good number of general management skills were focused. We are not going into one by one, but in general, working with people, handling conflicts, managing risk, taking care of external stakeholders, creating a overall stakeholder engagement, training and mentoring teams, managing vendors in some cases, not very frequently seen, but yeah, there was some cases where the vendor management was also included. Articulate strategy and product plan. Only in few cases, I says around 10% cases, this kind of role was expected from the Scrum Master. Most of the other job profiles were focusing on overall team leadership, impediment handling, facilitation, team coaching, team mentoring, and working closely with the product owner and other stakeholders. So that's something was consistently mentioned as a skill. So here we mentioned those top 10 skills seen more than in more than 80% of the jobs. So you can see facilitation, coaching, promoting build-in quality, stakeholder engagement, working with people, conflict management, leading teams, servant leadership, or influencing them to set the vision and all those kind of stuff, handling issues and impediments, metrics, monitoring progress was fairly mentioned. So metrics and monitoring progress may go kind of mix and match together, and some kind of a skills in work management tools. Now, when someone says the work management tool like Jira, Rally, or something else, it's not necessary that you should be knowing what it is. It's generally means, the way I studied the report, is that you should be able to create matrices using that particular tool. You should be able to highlight the issues using that particular tool. You should be able to facilitate the overall development in a distributed environment using that particular tool effectively. So how people come to know what they have to work on, and how the issues get highlighted, and those kind of a configuration and management you should be able to do when you are working with the team. Again, it's a ask, not necessarily 100% of the jobs or the profile will be efficient in it, but that's a kind of expectation which was mentioned in some cases. So that's a general thing. Agile skills, as I said, around 60% of jobs were not listing any agile skill. Yeah, so they were assuming you have it. But in some cases, these things came in. In some cases, the agile transformation skill was also mentioned, around 10% of the jobs, where the Scrum Master was expected to work at a enterprise level. In the same kind of jobs, you also saw, I end up seeing the community leadership, working with a kind of creating an agile community of practice and leading them was also mentioned. Reference to extreme programming, Kanban, Lean, and Safe was found in 40% of the cases whenever the agile thing was mentioned. And I found significant amount of focus on user stories and estimation. I was not expecting that, but after doing this analysis and seeing the mentioning of a user story, I kind of got a feeling that looks like working with user stories still seems to be an issue, and that's why most of the I say 40% of the provider wanted to mention the user stories explicitly and leading further to an assessment estimation as well. Maturity assessment, in few jobs it was there. I think supporting transformation, leading community of practices, and maturity assessments were some kind of a role which was more and more coming when the Scrum Master expectation like role, they were expecting more transformation role from a Scrum Master. In few cases, the explicit call out for definition of done was also there. So that's something, an agile part of it. So user story estimation, Kanban, and safe, these were things mentioned significantly in the area wherever the agile thing was mentioned. See, engineering practices in the jobs which I have studied, 20% of the jobs spoke about some of the engineering practices, skills, or proficiency. Focus on ensuring built-in quality was there universally, more or less, but specifically getting into a particular engineering practice was less. So many times people come and ask that, okay, do we need to know the technological space in order to become a good Scrum Master? So I would say that built-in quality was definitely asked, but specific technological practice and mentoring skill in those practice were not that frequently asked. But yes, the continuous integration, deployment, DevOps level kind of exposure was anticipated in some jobs. Certifications, as the certified Scrum Master was pretty much popular, and you can say that other Scrum certification, be it professional Scrum Master and safe Scrum Master, was also mentioned decently. uh, what I felt is most of these certifications were coming along with slashes, so you hardly find a job where only one certificate is mentioned. So say sometimes you say CSM slash PSM, sometimes you see a CSM slash safe Scrum Master, so which was also pretty much visible. So just one certificate was not seen in a key for getting the job. That's the overall observation. In few jobs, the CTC and PMP kind of certifications were also mentioned, few only. CSP, SM, and ACSM were also found in few jobs, which was kind of a little bit of a kind of a new learning for me, because I was considering these certificates are not yet that popular to come up in a job profiles, but they were also present there. Now, work management tool, as we spoke about, the Jira Rally version 1. Jira was the one which was seen more and more frequently. The second one was Rally. And in the third case, the version 1, good percentage of the jobs were not mentioning any tool, whereas they were just saying that you should be good with work management tools. So that's something we have been talking. So it's more about management skills, and some amount of agile expertise can probably help you in getting the Scrum Master job done well. So this is the whole idea of this report. And for more, you can definitely check it there in our 𝐎𝐲 space. Yeah. So that's something I
That's
can
awesome,
say.
Saket. And thank you very much for sharing this at this platform, because I think people can download from there. But the kind of understanding and insights you have shared with us, this is awesome. It's awesome.
Perfect. So we have questions now, yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
And we start. Yeah. So there is a one question. Hi, Heather. Welcome to the session. Yeah, that's the hi. And then we have a question talking about how do we develop skills for writing user stories? Yeah. Yeah. So now what we can say here is you develop skill by applying your knowledge about user stories. That's the thing. So one of the thing is that, okay, maybe you study about user stories. You might attend a training program where you learn about user story. That's something one can do. And after doing that, you need to start writing user story. Now, the problem which I find in many cases is that we directly think of developing skills or writing the user stories. But user stories usually come at a later stage. But first, we need to develop an overall understanding of the product vision, the product need, and set of personas who are going to use the product. So maybe product personas or a user role needs to be understood well. Many times, people directly think of writing the user story without having a clear understanding of who is the user. So we're writing the user story by saying, as a user, I should be able to do this. Looks little difficult. As an application user, they may improve a little bit of it. So if I'm writing a user story for Facebook, I should not be writing as a Facebook user. I should be able to do it. Or if I'm writing a user story for a flight booking system, I should not be writing as a flight booking system user. I should be able to do it. That's the whole intent is getting missed. So we need to learn about how do we understand the product, its business model, its target segment, and the personas. That's the first thing we should do. And once we do that, then we focus on that how do we take that thing forward. Okay, I understood the user persona, I understood the user profile. Now how do I meet the user need now? Yeah. And then I convert them into maybe initially at a epic level user usage statement, and later on at a user story level, small slicing. So that's something I can do at a later stage. So we do have an example which is available at 𝐎𝐩𝐞𝐧. Again, we call it wowhotels.com. In the resource section you can find it. There are, I think, few user stories which are written, and personas are also defined. So start looking at the product, the personas, user roles, and then exploring those requirement in the small pieces incrementally can help you in getting the whole understanding. Again, the idea of user story is developing product incrementally, having the just in time conversation related to the requirement, and having the conversation which is more focused on the value which is going to a targeted customer. So that's the whole idea. Rest is mechanical part of it. So understand the whole background of it, and then start working on, look at some of the good user stories. We have few example in our portal, and then maybe work with some mentors, write some draft user stories. One of the possible thing is that you can focus on in many job interviews. I am finding that people like interviewer ask them, oh, write a user story for internet banking system, or write a user stories for flight booking system. So those kind of things are even asked in interview, but you can do it yourself as well. If you are not getting an opportunity to work in the environment where user story is used as a tool for requirement exploration, you can pick up any established product, write the user story, and work with some mentor, get them reviewed, take a feedback, and then probably that can help you in improving that. So that's one possible thing one can do. So training and mentoring and feedback loop can help you in developing the better user stories. Now what one can do, we also run a 3-hour long user story writing workshop. We do have this schedule in our 𝐎𝐲𝐞𝐧 events page. So if you are interested in joining that, it's a paid workshop of $10, just to ensure that only serious people come. But yeah, you can join that as well in order to develop a skills in the user stories. Okay, so that's the one question. We move next. So is there any intersection between scaled agile and disciplined agile? So we can say the disciplined agile is a collection of ideas and tools which can be used in agile environment depending upon the context. Whereas a scaled agile has a one way of doing agile which is suitable for large organization where they want to develop large complex systems. So that's the whole idea. Now, many of the tools which are compiled in the disciplined agile might be used along with scaled agile, might be used with other flavors of agile. And again, the disciplined agile is more like a compilation of tools. So you can consider it is like a collection of agile practices which has been seen making some impact. That's there. And then scaled agile is saying when you are working in a large environment, you need to follow a particular path. So disciplined agile is not creating a particular path for you, whereas a scaled agile has created a particular path and frame for you, which you are expected to fit into in order to start delivering the values. So while doing it, the intent behind it, or if you want to customize some of the practices, the disciplined agile can come as a handy tool. So many organizations may use disciplined agile ideas. Again, those ideas are also compilation of various existing ideas in most of the cases, along with any framework. So that's a way we can see it as an intersection of between these two. Okay, so we have another question related to I'm working as a customer success manager and want to move full time into project management role. I have some experience. I have done project management. What do I do? Yeah, that's the whole idea. So this is something we were also exploring in our previous session, and the whole idea here is we need to start working as a project manager, sometime formally and sometime informally. So there are two challenges. First is the type of work one is doing. If the work is not project oriented, then you might be able to apply facilitation, conflict management, leadership skills, but you may not be able to appreciate the temporary nature of the work. Yeah. So the idea of a project, as the questioner is also a PMP certified, understand is that it's all about the temporary part of the project. So when someone is evaluating a project manager, they will look for generic management skills, which are pretty much common. They might be needed in any leadership role, like facilitation, conflict management, emotional intelligence, listening skills, ability to influence. All those kind of skills are generically needed. Quality related stuff is generically needed. But what might be specialized there is, how do we plan and do the work in a very uncertain context, because it's a temporary work. There is no historical data available. So how do you do that part? So developing some amount of experience in that, or refining your existing experience in that, might be useful to get into a full project management profile. You can look for opportunities inside your organization, or you can look for some volunteering opportunities, like some events are happening, and those events are temporary events, and they may have a 2-3 months of preparation cycle, and finally they get over. So see like voluntary or the official opportunities where you can do this temporary project management work and then take it forward. So that's something, a possibility one can do. Okay, so that's the thing. Now another question. One is coming from a recruitment industry. Has a computer engineering, like MC and computer application engineering. Is the person is eligible for PMP exam? That's the question. See, the idea here is, you can be from recruitment, you can be from retail, you can be from any type of industry. If your work involves project ways of working, then you can definitely package your experience and get eligible for PMP exam. So what is a project way of working? So if I probably visualize some recruitment thing, you might be helping an organization to double their size in the next 6 months because of some investment they got, and they wanted to run a particular drive for their organization to achieve some kind of a recruitment goal. And this is a particular projects you have worked with. There are a set of stakeholders who are there in the client organization who needs people. There are set of resources which you have in your organization, and you need to run for the whole planning, which is starting from publishing the job, like shortlisting the candidates, hiring them, and then you have a periodic monitoring which is talking about, oh, we were expected to hire 500 people, where do we stand? And then finally you achieve your project charter, you close that particular contract, and the work is over. Yeah. So if you have those kind of instances, then that work can be qualified as a project work, because it was a temporary in nature. There were some set of stakeholders who only got engaged for that duration. You had a continuous monitoring and control happening against it, and ultimately it achieved some objective for the end customer of hiring a set of skills. So look for those kind of an opportunity or an experience in your profile, and then you will be good for PMP exam. And if you take our program, we will definitely help you to frame that particular experience, so you don't face much of the challenge. And this is the essential experience you will also need in order to appreciate the PMP content. It is just not for the paperwork of PMI. This experience is recommended because we are not teaching the PMP assuming that you don't know anything about project management. So the content of the project management or a PMP exam, or the way it is designed, assumes that you already know project management. You just need to fill some gap and see it in a more holistic manner. So if that assumption is wrong, then you may face some struggle in even appreciating the whole content as well. Though in our program we'll add a lot of videos which will also help you in creating your foundational understanding of a project management. But yeah, at the same time, that's the reason PMI mentioning the experience. Yeah. So that's the thing. Yeah. Okay, so we have the workshop for user story, 𝐎𝐩𝐞𝐧.com. You can find it, look for events in Agile Guild. If you can't locate it, let us know. We will share the direct link of of that particular program with you. Yeah, that's something we can do. Okay, so did the lean differ from Kanban or they are the same? It all depends upon whom you are talking to. It will become little theoretical discussion. So let's not get too much into it. Generally, yeah. So again, Kanban in manufacturing and Kanban in service industry may also vary because the service industry has a knowledge work. Knowledge work based Kanban and the manufacturing based Kanban may also have some flavor. So what you can say is that Kanban has some tools and ideas to implement some of the core lean ideas of ensuring flow-based working. So in a simplistic way, both of them are targeting to achieve a flow where you incrementally deliver things, you do things just in time. Kanban more focuses on supporting that flow with the help of visualization. Lean may support it by way of stressing on principles and letting you find out what exactly has to be done. So yeah, that's the thing. But again, it could be a debate where one says this is the difference and this is the same. But from a practical purpose, it's all about achieving the flow. And Kanban stresses more on visualization while we are achieving the flow. Okay. Can the person who is PMI ACP certified apply for a Scrum Master role? Or is it better to do after doing certified Scrum Master? So in a simplistic way, it all depends upon who is recruiting. In many recruitments or in many job profiles, they may not mention any certificate also. And many times they mention certificate as a desired one, as a preferred one, not as a mandatory one. So it depends upon which company you are targeting to. Now, having said that, many recruiters may end up searching the profiles with the help of certified Scrum Master as a filter criteria. Now, it depends, are you applying or they are searching? When you are applying, you have a little bit more control because you can find out appropriateness and you can study and you can apply it. But when someone else is searching, you don't the person who is searching might not be even aware of what they should put. They might be only putting certified Scrum Master. So that sometimes becomes a challenge. Now, in general, if I look for a Scrum Master job, so certified Scrum Master certification is meant for Scrum Master job. So that's it has a more, I think, suitability for it. Whereas a PMI ACP is meant for multiple type of agile job, or someone who is working into generic agile environment and has an ability to apply any type of agile whenever it is needed. Yeah, so that's the target segment for PMI ACP. Now, again, there is no sequence. You can do PMI ACP first, then you can do CSM. But if you want to do PMI ACP and you have not yet done CSM, both of the certificates are new to you, then my recommendation is do certified Scrum Master first. You get certification done in a less than a week time. In 2-3 days, you are certified. And whatever learning, whatever knowledge you are acquiring in certified Scrum Master is going to be useful for your PMI ACP certification as well. Yeah, and it has relatively more search results. So the number of people who are certified with certified Scrum Master, like total number of PMI ACP and total number of CSM done in a 1 month might be the same. So that's the big difference in the size of it, and that's why probably the popularity of it as well. So and it also depends what kind of a profile you are targeting to. Okay, so that's the question. Yeah. If you have anyone has a follow-up question, please feel free to put it in the box. We will connect it, take it as we go along. Okay, so should I keep myself towards technical project manager or move towards agile project manager or program manager? Yeah. I think towards technicals, we may get more package. Yeah, possibly, yes. So see, what I possibly say here is, it depends upon where you enjoy more. Now, somebody will say, oh, that's a theoretical thing. Don't tell us. Yeah, we enjoy wherever we get the money. The idea here is any job will require a time and focus investment. And especially if you want to specialize in it, you want to really excel in it, it will require investment, time investment. And when you have to invest your time, when you have interest matching with the thing which you are doing, it becomes easier to invest time. and that grows your career. That's the whole idea. It's not theoretically, what you enjoy more, because when you enjoy something more, you will be able to learn it more. That's the whole idea. Now, in general, I personally do see at a mid level, the technical skills may give you more rewarding career as of now when it comes to money, because at that level, those kind of a specializations are not that much in market, because people tend to move out from technology after a while, because it is usually for those people who moved out, it was becoming too difficult to keep up to dated with the technology, so they decided to move out. Now, people who are enjoying those kind of a technological frequent changes, and they can remain updated with it, may end up earning more money as well. So it depends. If you can handle that, it might be a good idea. Now, over the project management or any management, organizations usually look that management job as an overhead job. So, if the developer can end up doing whatever they are expected to do, why do we need a manager? Yeah, we just need a manager because we are coordinating, collaborating, miscommunications are getting resolved and taking them towards the common goal. If they can do it on their own, then this whole thing is not needed. So good amount of management theories are trying to make those engineers do the right job, so that they have a less and less need for the management. So that's the another challenge when it comes to a management area. Now, what is a plus side for management space? I would say there will be a kind of a bottleneck after some time. You have a lot of mid managers, but from mid managers to senior management, the cone becomes little like sharp. So not everyone reaches to the senior management level and further forward. So if you get into a project and program management space, you need to do very exceptionally well in order to move further from a mid management level. So going till mid management is okay, but after that, in my view, again, you can do your own research as well, but after the mid management space, there will be a blockage, and then a lot of soft skills, leadership skills, ability to influence, and a lot of other people oriented stuff is need to be done in order to move next. So see where you want to invest more time and energy, because time and energy is anyway needed in both the profile if you want to take it to the next level. Okay, so that's the thing. Any specific skill, hard skill or a soft skill we need to highlight to get selected for the interview? Uh, let's see reverse. So think like, what possible skill might be needed in order to get that particular job done. So think like this, that someone is hiring you, they are going to pay you, why they are doing it, what they need in return from you, and then think of what kind of a skills can help me in justifying or in helping my recruiter or my employer in getting best out of my time. So that's the way we can select the soft or hard skills. Now, if you are working with the client interactions, assuming, yeah, you probably need to know your product and service as well, and you should have an ability to empathetically listen to your client so that they end up sharing their needs and requirements with you, and then you should have a knowledge where you can also map those things well. So it will be a combination of fact and figures based knowledge plus an empathetic look, so that you can reach and make a maximum use of those fact and figure based knowledge. And depending upon, if you are working in a small room and you don't have to interact with anyone, then fact and figure based knowledge might be good enough, because you can say I talk to the facts and I produce facts and I don't interact with humans. Yeah, that then you may focus totally on your hard skills or technological or quantitative skills. But when you have an interaction happening, then in order to make those facts and figures used well, you need to have those layer where you can understand what is actually needed and you can serve them. So depending upon the composition of your job, you may need to add the hard skills and soft skills. The more and more it is people oriented, you need to have more empathetic view, you really care for them, and those understanding, ability to influence, ability to ask question, ability to listen well will becomes more and more important, and then only you can be probably able to help them with the hard skills. Okay. How long will it take to get a PMP certified once you start the course? Around 2 months. Yeah, that's the thing which we can say. So see, people are coming from different backgrounds. for doing PMP. Yeah. So it will be a little bit of estimation when I say it will take this much time. Someone might have done project management for long, someone might have done project management, but in a very ad hoc environment. So that person's time might be a more. But in general, if I just give a hypothetical, like a range based estimation, so I usually tell 150 hours of 200 hours of investment in general needed in order to get PMP finished, yeah, developed, done. So that's the time investment. Usually I see in our content based, people take around 2 months to invest that much time. Now there are people who can invest more time in the shorter duration. We have many clients finishing PMP in 3 weeks times as well. But it depends upon how much time you can put into. So around 200 hours of preparation is good enough for doing the PMP on average. Yeah. So we have all the video contents. We have around 60 hours of pre-recorded video content, and then we will have our online classes, which will consume around 35 hours. So 100 hours are done with us only. And after finishing those 100 hours, you start taking practice tests. You discover some gaps, you fill those gaps, and that is the extra time you take. If you find less and less gap, you might be ready in maybe 100 plus 20, 30 hours only. But if you find more and more gaps, you may need another 100 hours to fix those gaps, and then you go ahead with the exam. Okay, good to know. You got your answer. That's good. Yeah, people are finding interesting for interest and capability space. That's a nice thing. Yeah. Okay, so I think we have covered the questions till now. Yeah, we wait for a few more questions before we proceed. Okay, looks like the people who have joined got their answers. Now, if we have a new person joining in, then only we will get the question. Else, I think we are good for today's Q&A. That's something I can see here. Okay. Okay, so what we can do right now, by the time if we are not getting many of these questions, probably we can get started, and I can take some of the questions which I'm seeing here and there on our YouTube comments, or sometime on the generic discussion. Yeah. Okay, so thank you for liking our videos and content. That's good. Thank you. Now, since we published this report related to Scrum Master, we were getting many questions related to, are we going to do another set of study? So we do plan for do that as we go along. Yeah. So that's something I can say. Another question coming in: will you support for PMP application? So the answer is yes. And see, PMP application is not complicated. That's also, please don't fear much about it. Once you understand the project management, you just need to elaborate your project management experience in that particular way. It's a completely online application. But yes, we can assist you whenever you have a challenge related to it. What we usually do is, before we finish our live interactions, we start encouraging people to open up their application. They start filling up, and they end up filling most of it. And then by the time we finish the class, we have a person assigned for doing this particular assistance alone. So be it PMP application, how to take membership, how to work with PMI for various things, we do have a proper interaction plan, and we do support you in doing those kind of a collaboration. Even after our PMP live classes, we have live interactions which are happening every alternate week. So one can join our session and ask your questions for as much duration you want. Hopefully you don't do it for very long, but yeah, that's the platform we have. You also allows you to rejoin the class in case sometime you have started with the preparation and you got distracted in between, and now you want to restart it. So you can join another batch, come along without paying any extra money. So that's, we give it on paper for 3 months duration, but sometimes we usually extend if someone has a special request. So those kind of a features are there. And if someone wants to just discuss anything related to PMP, even if they are not our customer, we do have a interaction forum dedicated towards, yeah, it is mainly for all PMI certification, but the PMP content is the major one. And this is called forum.eisenbridge.com. I can just show you the screen so that you have a little awareness. And this particular forum we have been running for a while. For a while means around 9 years. And you can even search the old conversations, and you find various interesting stuff even by just browsing the content. But if you have any question, any mock thing which is not clear to you, you probably can raise those questions as well. So that's like we have a conversation. For example, there is a question, and then there are explanation, and this kind of a things keep coming and keep running. So that's another tool which one can use throughout their PMP journey. Yeah. Yes. And just searching might also help you in getting the answers. Okay, so that's the another thing. Yeah, Kumkum, you have something?
No, just I just wanted to give the reminder to all the visitors. So we are in the last 15 minutes of our session. If you have any specific questions, so you can post your questions in the comment section. And I think we got few.
Mhm. Okay. Okay, so right now the question is more logistic oriented. So the person wants to take a 7 hours, shorter sessions, but the timings for the current shorter sessions are not suitable, and the person may face any difficulty in taking the full 7 hour session. So I don't know, maybe you can join and take some part of the 7 hour session in the batch one and some part of the 7 hour session in the second batch. That's a possible thing which we can explore. And yeah, so that's a possible thing. And then you can drop us an email. We'll figure out if we can find something else as well. Yeah. Okay. Okay, at a senior level, like a project manager or program management manager, which job portal is good? Naukri or LinkedIn? Okay, so it's been a while I looked for a job, so I don't know exactly. I'm looking for job portals primarily to study what is going on, so a little less aware about the effectiveness of it. Yeah, that's the thing. What I personally feel is the overall significance of job portals also start reducing when you start moving to a senior profile, any job portal, because good amount of jobs will be looked from a referral way. That's the we want to work on. Yeah. So what I recommend for a senior management space is that probably you need to work on your network. You need to join various professional communities and demonstrate your skills on those professional communities. So see, a profile and your interaction on various professional community may make more weightage than what you are writing about yourself in a profile, because everybody will write nice about things, but people may want to see how overall the referral and other connections are talking about you. So investing in your social media as well as other community level presence might be a good idea. And working on your network might be also a good idea. Many times nowadays, the jobs may talk about 10 things in a profile, but people who get selected are coming from a referral channel, and they may not have many things out of those 10 things. That's something I can see and observe. Now, if we just have to talk about a particular thing, in my view, LinkedIn seems to be a little bit more premium class jobs. So there is the quality of jobs which are published on LinkedIn are expected to be little high or a little better than a portal like others. So that's something I can say. Yeah. Okay, so Sarath, we can figure out the timing. So you let us know. We'll talk over the mail. I will connect my people so they can take care of what best we can do on the timing space.
Yeah, Sarath, I'm just dropping a email address here. You can drop email on this email address.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, yeah. Um, I do see mentioning of PMP, but I am not clear what do you want to say with the PMP. So not clear, but yeah, in case you have something, maybe you type it further, and then we'll probably take that question. Okay, so looks like we are approaching towards the closer. That's something we can plan if there is nothing much left. So I just wait for a while and then we probably start closing. So PMP or Prince 2 certification, which one is better? Okay, now we get the question. So again, I would say look at the job description, look at your customer segment and see what kind of a things you see frequently in the market. Now, in general, what my interpretation, we don't teach Prince 2, so we have a limited knowledge about Prince 2. But with that limited knowledge, what I can say here is that it's more market segment oriented. The organizations, banks which are working in UK segment or in Australian segment ask specifically about Prince 2. The organization generically working in the US and other part of the world and looking for project management space, they focus on the PMP certification more. So that's the generically speaking I can say here. Okay, so can you propose any roadmap for learning agile approaches? From where should we start? Or maybe each one has its ways of working and there is no standard or a role. How do we take it forward? So see, the agile is a way of working, yeah, and it's all about planning, doing, studying, or improving and acting on it. That's the whole essential part of it. Now each flavor has their own ideas, some kind of a jargon, some kind of an events which one has to understand. Yeah, that's the whole thing. Now, the easiest way to get started with the agile way of working is study Scrum, because Scrum is the most popular flavor of agile as per various surveys. People use pure Scrum or people use some flavor of Scrum, some flavor, not necessarily as defined in the official Scrum documents, but some flavor of Scrum. So when you get a good insights about Scrum, you probably will know, yeah, how do we work in the generic agile ways of working. So with certification or without certification, picking up the Scrum knowledge with training, with books is a good starting point. Now, once you get the Scrum knowledge, then you start getting beyond Scrum and start mixing the agile way of working with the project management way of working. And then probably you can pick up the PMI literatures like PMI Agile Practice Guide, and that kind of, or a PMBOK Guide 6th edition also has a good amount of agile content. The 7th edition also has a principle oriented approach which talks about how hybrid and generic agile works together. That's something one can explore. So this much understanding is good enough to create a foundational stuff. As we spoke about the agile jobs as well, some understanding of Kanban way of working, yeah, in the knowledge industry, not in the manufacturing industry, can help you in improving the flow inside your agile as well as in a generic flavor. So once you are done with Scrum, once you are done with generic agile and agile project management space with the help of PMI practice guide, you can pick up the Kanban approach and also understand how do I use many of the Kanban ideas in agile or in a generic project management space. So that's the three things, and I think after that you will know. Yeah. So as the progressive elaboration, as we learn in our project management, as we learn in our agile work also, things will evolve as we go forward. So actual path will evolve once you take the first step. So take the first step, improve your Scrum, then you will know what you should do next. Probably you will end up into generic project management. By the that time you will know what you have to do. Probably you will do Kanban, or you may end up doing something else as well. But yeah, that's something you can focus on. Okay, yeah, perfect. Good. I think we can start the closing then, Kumkum.
Sure. Yeah, I think, yeah, we have covered everything today. That's good. Yeah. So, any last minute insights would you like to share with audience?
So I think we had a wide variety of questions. So that's the thing. So it's difficult to summarize, but I think we explored dimensions related to Scrum Master, PMP exam, soft skills, hard skills, what to do, technology, project management, various ideas. So yeah, I think all questions and all discussions are interesting. And as I mentioned before, it's there is no definitive answer. We are exploring, and you hear some advice from me, some ideas from me. You do your own research, and ultimately it's your decision which will help you in finding out a right roadmap for yourself as well as a right career path for yourself. So ultimately you need to take an accountability of your decision and find a right decision for yourself. People like us can give you some ideas which can help you in exploring some dimensions, but ultimately it will remain with you. Yeah.
Perfect, perfect. Sounds really great, Saket. And yeah, I think you are the coach, and I know the all coaches they can show you the path, but not the destination, so that you have to decide. So, but as I also started my journey with the Scrum, and then I learned about the Safe. So yes, you were very right on that path. When you want to understand the Agile, the Scrum is a lightweight framework and easy to understand as compared to other frameworks. So it's a good start point to start your agile journey. That's really you're very bang on that point.
Okay, perfect. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so guys, this now the time is to say bye, and we'll be back again next Friday, maybe with Saket, maybe with some other expert. So I'll check his calendar and I'll select any other Friday with Saket. So and for now, bye. Take care of yourself, stay safe, and you can post your questions on LinkedIn as well. So I'll publish these Friday sessions by Monday or Tuesday. So just check that. If you have any questions, you can post your questions in advance also. I can understand that everybody cannot join the same time with us, but yeah, you can post and pre both supports are there. You'll get the recording of the session. So if you were not there during these hours, then you can watch the recording, and then if you have any follow-up questions, you can post your questions. And anyways, I've shared the sales at Eisenbridge email ID as well, so you can post your questions there also. And I am on LinkedIn, and I think a couple of times I've shared my LinkedIn profile here, so you can connect me on LinkedIn. Just Kumkum CSMCSPO. I am the first search, so it's not difficult to find me on LinkedIn. So this is our time to say bye. Bye. Take care of yourself, and we'll back again on next Friday.